time to light the match for the burning truth with Casey Hendrickson.
And good afternoon. Thank you for tuning in to The Burning Truth. Don't forget, Dinesh D'Souza going to be joining us in about half an hour, about 4:30, to talk about his new movie, Vindicating Trump. Joining us on the line right now is Kayla Blakeslee, host of Fort Wayne's Morning News, one of our affiliate stations out of Fort Wayne, Indiana. Kayla, how are you this afternoon?
I'm doing good. How are you, Casey?
I'm hanging in there. So I just went over some of the FEMA data. I still have more that we have to get to. A lot of breaking news about what's been happening with the hurricane. And I catch wind that our very own Kayla Blakeslee is organizing an effort to help victims out there. And I was hoping that you would come on and kind of tell us what's going on and how people can help.
Oh, Casey, I can't take all the credit for that. But just like you, I know that the federal government is not going to save the day or come to the rescue of all of the individuals there south of us, down south after Hurricane Helene. So this morning on my show on WOWO, I had on the COO of Buchanan Hauling and Distributing. And he came on to talk to me about how they're trying to fill 20 semi-trucks, okay? So these are not your little tiny box trucks. 20 semi-trucks with supplies to take down to North Carolina. They've got to hook up down there to ensure that they can be distributed, all these supplies, to people that need them. And I'm on the air with him, and I'm talking, and you know how it is. You got to love live radio. Spur of the moment, I just said on the air, I was like, man, I want to be a part of this. I want to help. Can I bring my show out there on Monday morning and help solicit donations? And he said, yeah, sure, come on out. So the next thing you know, one thing has turned into another, and we have local businesses teaming up, churches teaming up, calling, emailing, writing, saying, hey, we've got pallets of water. Hey, we want to bring some brand new clothes. Hey, we've got baby food that we can bring over. And so they're already off to a good start. You can take your donations directly to Buchanan here in Fort Wayne. So that's 5130 Executive Boulevard. I know that's a long haul for a lot of your drivers, but here's the good news, Casey. If you go to WOWO.com, or if you follow me on Facebook at WOWO Kayla, because they were so inundated this morning, they also started a GoFundMe that they're going to keep open for the next about 4 to 5 days. So if you want to make a monetary donation, you can do that, and then we're going to go buy supplies that we need to try and fill these trucks. Now, our goal is 20 of these bad boys, okay? So it's definitely a lofty goal, but I truly believe, we're just one pinprick. You bring 1,000 pinpricks together, and you can start to really move some mountains.
Would you do me a favor for those of us who are awesome and are banned on Facebook? Would you also post that on X so I can put it in the Daily Show prep and get it out to people as well? I
would be happy to do that. I hear you on that. I've been in Facebook jail a couple of times myself. But really, Casey, it's so important. I'm sure you've talked about it all morning long or all afternoon long. I'm on the wrong morning drive show here. All afternoon are just about the pathetic response that's coming down from the Biden-Harris administration, from FEMA. I was getting a little investigative myself because I don't know if you've heard this or talked about this, but I uncovered this morning FEMA, it must be getting so inundated. We, the people, must be making so much noise. We've gotten so loud at how pathetic they have been that they have now created on their government website, Casey. They've taken the time to do this.
It's the next topic.
The rumor response.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they've created this page, and I don't know, wait till you read it. It is deplorable. And so then what I decided to do from there is a little further investigating, and I actually tried to apply for this $750, this FEMA relief, because we're hearing stories that people are being denied. And wouldn't you know it, I logged in, made up a fake account, tried to request it, and what it said is they had to come to my home to inspect it, which could take up to 10 days.
Yeah.
Casey, these people don't even have homes. There are no homes to inspect.
Right.
Exactly. It's deplorable. So that's why, it was on my heart this morning to get involved with Buchanan. They're truly the spark. We're just trying to pour gasoline on it and really ignite a fire here with bringing Hoosiers together, which is my favorite part, about this state. Everyone's, Hoosiers helping Hoosiers. And in this case, it's Hoosiers helping our fellow Americans. And I am so excited about waiting to see what we can accomplish. And the sooner we pack those trucks, my personal goal is to fill them by Tuesday of next week so that our boys can head out and hit the road and drive them down there on Wednesday. Wednesday because, let's face it, they need these supplies yesterday. So the sooner we can fill these trucks, the sooner we can get it all down there.
Yeah, I know that the grocery stores in Asheville, North Carolina, and I've got some people in Asheville that I have to reach out to. I've been giving them space because obviously they're dealing with more important things, but grocery stores were empty there. They couldn't get any food. I was talking about a couple of people like Tim Kennedy and others who routinely go to these disaster areas, and they know how FEMA works. They know how these sorts of things work. And I was kind of curious about this because yesterday I went over how FEMA will often, they will see semi-trucks, they will turn supplies away. Sometimes Americans actually have to go around FEMA and hide and sneak to get supplies to victims because they're not preferred vendors. So like if they have a contract with Pepsi, you can't bring Coke. And things like that.
Right.
So how is this effort that you're involved with going to address that, get around that? Do they have the means to ensure that their trucks won't be turned around or confiscated by FEMA? How is that working out?
Well, you're going to love this. So they've got some groups down there in North Carolina that they actually worked with back in 2016 during Hurricane Katrina. They've kind of been through this before. And so they've got some boots on the ground from a distilling company of all places and a couple local churches. Similar organizations that they got hooked up with back in 2016 after Katrina. So they are confident with these same organizations that they can get these supplies in. They did not want to tell me on the air how exactly
I understand that.
which is
move.
understandable as well. But Monday morning, I'm actually going out to Buchanan. I'm going to take my show out there live, as I mentioned, to help solicit some of these donations. And that'll be something that we'll try to explore a little bit more in depth as we'll have a little bit more time Monday morning. To get into that as much as they feel that they can share and tell, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, that makes perfect sense. And I don't want them to share too much because we don't want anybody knowing what's going on.
They did tell me the name of the churches and the distillery off the air that they're hooking up with so that I could do my own research into that. But I also want to respect and not share those on the air either.
Well, especially with the federal government under Biden going after distilleries as it's been doing the past couple of years. So, yeah, I definitely, yes. Absolutely.
Exactly.
Maintain their privacy.
But truly, if your listeners want to get involved, if it's on their heart, whether, it's a case of water or 10 cases of water, clean clothes, diapers, baby formula, sunscreen, non-perishable food items. And also think about this, not the ones that you need a can opener to pop open,
Sure.
These folks don't even have can openers. Socks, underwear, toothbrushes, toothpaste, you name it. We've got the full list there at WOWO.com as well. And again, I'll be sure to share on Twitter so you can share it also. But just think about it. If you have it, they need it.
And also, I hear that through a little birdie that you're going to be going on with a friend of ours, Mr. Todd Starnes, to talk about the stuff that's been happening in Logansport. You've been covering it. I've been addressing it a little bit. You had that great interview with the mayor recently. And I was just wanted to give you an opportunity to plug when you're going to be on with Todd Starnes about that.
Well, I was actually on last night with Todd on the
man.
Yeah, it was on the Todd Starts radio show, but it was great because we got some coverage on Newsmax, and this story, it all kind of comes full circle because when it comes to Logansport and this Haitian migrant influx that they are experiencing, which is very real from the lips of the mayor himself there in Logansport, they've seen about a 30% influx increase over the last 3 years, which equates to about 5,600 individuals, just to put it into perspective. But this all goes back to the Biden-Harris administration as well, and them expanding some different kind of migrant programs that they have for Haiti, for Cuba, Venezuela, Nicaragua, so on and so forth. But at the end of the day, what a lot of our FEMA money is actually being spent on, Casey, is not actual natural disaster relief, like a hurricane. It's being spent on a lot of these immigration resettlements. Just fiscal year 2024 alone, $1 billion has been spent on these immigration resettlements. So here we are. This Logansport story is kind of coming full circle as we start to see these stories like Springfield, Ohio, Logansport, Indiana, Indianapolis as well, so on and so forth. To me, it's all very cyclical. One kind of is a domino effect that's now greatly impacting the folks down there in North Carolina, Tennessee, Georgia, you name it, down south.
Yeah, and I was fact-checking it today because Todd Rokita was, he was posting about it, the Attorney General, and people, of course, were attacking him and saying Republicans voted against the funding. No, they didn't. The funding that they're talking about was additional supplemental funding beyond the $20 billion that they just gave to FEMA. That's in addition to the largest budget they've ever had and the largest disaster relief fund budget they've ever had. And 3 months ago, Mayorkas said, we are perfectly prepared for hurricane season, and it's been a 50-year low in hurricanes, and somehow they don't have any money left over, which is just is politics as it is at the expense of the American people. I'm glad that you're doing this. So Monday, your show is going to be out there in Buchanan. And again, people can follow you on your social media. You're going to post the link to the GoFundMe on X so I can repost that. That would be awesome. I'd appreciate that. And Kayla, thank you so much for your efforts, and thank you for joining us and everything you're doing.
Well, thanks for sharing the good word, Casey. Keep it up.
Sounds good. All right, take care. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Kayla Blakeslee, host of Fort Wayne's Morning News, and I am your host, Casey Hendrickson. We'll be back with The Burning Truth.
Podcasts by Federated Media.